Welcome to the 22nd video in this series, Foundations of Communist Organizing. Today we'll be going over the 1921 piece by the Communist Party of Italy, section of the Third International, the Tactics of the Communist International, which I have subtitled, Worker Struggles Advance Towards Revolutionary Knowledge Through Party. This text tackles the question of what tactics communist parties should take under different circumstances, advising on how to understand and put into practice some aspects of the International. The Communist Party must become the general staff of the revolution, and this requires a rejection of romanticization of revolution, which would result in the election of voluntaristic trailblazers and martyrs. Rather, it must gather itself around the proletarian army and be driven by real developments that actually struggle against current conditions. To do this, it should join movements of the working class to achieve their immediate interests, while synthesizing the support for initial impulses with the ultimate goal, and agitate, propagandize, and prepare alongside the masses. Through this support and education, the party develops a logical process of the workers on an accelerated basis, moving from individual struggle to trade union, worker council, and finally, political class party. This support for immediate interests involves being within the united front against the bourgeois offensive. However, that involvement must maintain the party's independence and program, while rejecting any social democratic, reformist positions that involve entrance within the state. If we get involved in the state, and reforms successfully go through via the state, it lulls the masses to sleep, believing that democratic mechanisms can achieve their aims. Thus, the Communist Party must not support entrance into them. Our response to the bourgeois offensive must be offensive in turn, as a defense only puts us on the back foot and trailing behind the masses. In the conditions of this offensive, the party must be able to take its developed theory, cognizant of correct tactical action, and put it into praxis. The United Front means common action by all labor categories, local and regional groups of workers and national trade union organizations, and it shows a path for the proletariat to emancipation, the communist method. In the United Front, the workers are driven to direct action guided by their class organizations, resulting in development of political consciousness and therefore by resistance to the bourgeois state and opportunism. It consolidates the political party to have revolutionary consciousness of the path, and through immediate economic struggle, the masses are compelled to take political action. When this occurs, the party provides direction and a general staff. In short, a crisis of legitimacy is generated by pushing the proletariat to take action, and through that action, recognize the limits placed upon them by the bourgeois state. In the United Front, the Communist Party should constantly be preparing for the sudden but inevitable betrayal by the social democratic counter-revolutionaries, by protecting ourselves from infiltration by opportunists, keeping the program pure, and rejecting any calls by social democrats to stop the proletarian counteroffensive while educating the workers on the need to keep the pressure going. When such occurs, the Communist Party will drive the workers to complete the assault, this time on the social democrats. For such force to be possible, the party must put all the resources of the whole proletariat on revolutionary terrain, which requires that the party's real unity be for the revolution, rather than the mere principle of unity itself. Any organization that rejects the revolution must be split with, and this assures that the party cannot be diverted from the attainment of anything less than the revolution. Thus, collaboration with fractions of the bourgeoisie is impossible. While the party can support individual policies, entrance or alliances with organizations that will imply that the party is aiming at a democratic conquest of state is impossible. Ultimately, parties should be recognized as communists or not on these grounds. Do they or do they not recognize bourgeois state machinery? Any party that voluntarily remains within the confines of law, eschews violence, only works from bourgeois democratic constitutions, and or refuses the dictatorship of the proletariat is necessarily bourgeois. Ultimately, the platform of the party is 1. The Proletarian Trade Union United Front, 2. Unceasing political opposition towards the bourgeois government, and 3. Unceasing political opposition towards all legal parties. The Communist Party must always keep in mind its objective and subjective conditions. One major objective condition is the struggle by the masses based on economic motives without larger consciousness. This results in a subjective condition, wherein an increasing number of the minority with a clear vision of the needs of the movement is developed. The development of this subjective condition requires the formation of a militarized school of thought. That school of thought is a political class party. The party is also an objective element in the material conditions, but until the decisive moment, it cannot manipulate the situation directly. It is only able to adjust the formation of the party's army. Objective revolutionary conditions generate groups for organizing alongside mass action in response to bourgeois attacks, and the best thing for the party to do in those circumstances is to be prepared to support these mass actions, converting them to a revolutionary path through education and the development of techniques learned through direct action. For this to occur, the party must be independent so that it can take actions which will lead to the victory of the proletariat. The party must make it clear to the proletariat that is actively struggling against the bourgeois political military control apparatus in terms of guerrilla class war, direct action, and revolutionary conspiracy. And that is my summary of the Communist Party of Italy section of the Third International, the tactics of the Communist International. If you would like to go through the quotations I derived the summary from, then feel free to go into the description below, and you'll find a link to this Google Doc, along with a link to the United Marxist Pact Discord server, where you can join, and if you want to talk about this or any other thing, then please feel free to. Tomorrow, we will be going over the Communist Party of Italy section of the Third International, the democratic principle. Thank you for joining me for today's topical summary, and I hope to see you then.